Welcome to the We Can Fix Climate Change podcast. In today's episode, we'll cover the hottest month in human history and the urgency for climate action, the frustration over the lack of agreement on reducing fossil fuels at the G20 meeting, the LA Times call for more action on climate change, Amsterdam's ban on cruise ships for environmental reasons, the US climate law promoting clean energy, and the collaboration among major automakers for an EV charging network.
So recently, the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, held a press conference to shed light on the gravity of the climate crisis. In fact, July 2023 was officially declared the hottest month ever recorded in human history. Guterres highlighted the unprecedented heat wave that we've been experiencing. We're talking about the hottest 3-week period, the 3 hottest days, and even the highest ever ocean temperatures for this time of year. During his speech, Guterres made some powerful statements that really hit home. He emphasized that humanity is in the hot seat right now. The severity of the climate crisis doesn't leave any room for doubt. According to scientists, it's crystal clear that humans are to blame. This is exactly what they've been warning us about for years. The speed at which things are changing is the only surprise here. Guterres called upon leaders, especially those from G20 countries who are responsible for a staggering 80% of global emissions, to step up and take action. Climate action and climate justice are paramount at this point. We can't afford to continue down this destructive path. In his poignant speech, Guterres declared that climate change is no longer a threat on the horizon. It's happening right now. In his words, Guterres said, "Climate change is here, it is terrifying. And it is just the beginning. The era of global boiling has arrived."
The G20 summit, a gathering of the world's major economies, concluded with disappointing outcomes as they failed to reach an agreement on reducing fossil fuel usage. The meeting, held in July 2023, aimed to address the pressing issue of climate change and its devastating impact on the planet. However, deep divisions among the participating countries hindered any significant progress. Disagreements on emission reduction targets and financial aid for transitioning economies were among the contentious topics that led to a deadlock. The lack of consensus has sparked concerns among environmentalists and climate activists, who had hoped for stronger commitments from the G20 nations to combat the escalating climate crisis. The failure to secure a collective agreement signifies the challenges in achieving global cooperation on such critical issues. With climate change's effects becoming more evident worldwide, the inability to take concrete steps to curb fossil fuel consumption raises doubts about the G20's ability to effectively tackle the urgent climate challenges ahead.
In a recent editorial by the LA Times, the message is clear. Simply being frenemies with fossil fuel companies is insufficient. It's time to completely sever ties. The piece highlights the need to take strong actions against the fossil fuel industry to combat the pressing climate crisis. Mere superficial gestures or half-hearted commitments won't cut it anymore. The editorial emphasizes the urgency of moving away from reliance on fossil fuels and embracing cleaner, renewable energy sources. The call to kick them to the curb signifies the demand for decisive and resolute measures to break free from fossil fuel entanglements. This means holding companies accountable for their environmental impact and pushing for robust policies that prioritize sustainability over short-term profits. The piece resonates with growing public concern and mounting pressure on governments and industries to take bold steps in the fight against climate change.
Recently, Amsterdam made headlines with its decision to ban cruise ships from its waters. While the Dutch capital has enjoyed being a renowned destination for these massive vessels, authorities have started to worry about the detrimental effect they have on the environment. It's no secret that cruise ships are notorious for generating copious amounts of pollution, which further exacerbates the city's already congested streets. The move to ban cruise ships is just one of many steps Amsterdam is taking to minimize its environmental impact. The city has implemented several measures, including a congestion charge for cars and a prohibition on polluting vehicles within the city centre. With these initiatives, Amsterdam aims to create a cleaner and more sustainable urban environment for both its residents and visitors. The decision was not made in haste, but rather as part of a wider effort to combat pollution and congestion. The city acknowledges the need to balance tourism and sustainability, recognizing that preserving the natural beauty and livability of Amsterdam is of utmost importance. By taking such decisive action, Amsterdam is setting an example for other popular tourist destinations around the world. It sends a strong message that cities should prioritize their environmental responsibilities, even if it means making tough choices and potentially impacting tourism.
According to NBC News, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, also known as the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, signed into law in November 2021, is proving to be a game changer for clean energy technology. The report highlights the significant progress made since the law's enactment, showcasing how it has accelerated advancements in renewable energy and sustainability. With a focus on combating climate change, the legislation has provided a boost to various clean energy initiatives, fostering innovation and investments in eco-friendly technologies. The article underscores the positive impact of the law as it pushes the nation towards cleaner energy alternatives and reduced reliance on fossil fuels. This progress is seen as a promising step in the global fight against the climate crisis, with the U.S. playing a leading role in adopting greener practices. The report sheds light on the potential benefits of such legislation, providing hope that continued efforts in this direction can contribute to a more sustainable and environmentally conscious future.
Hey there! An interesting development for you from the world of electric vehicles. 7 major automakers, including BMW, GM, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, Mercedes-Benz, and Stellantis, have joined forces to create a new open electric vehicle charging network specifically for North America. This network is projected to have 1,700 fast charging stations up and running by 2025. What's really cool is that these stations will be compatible with all major electric vehicle brands out there. So, regardless of whether you're driving a BMW, a Kia, or any other popular EV, you'll be able to charge up conveniently. The plan is to strategically locate these stations along key highways and in urban areas, making it convenient for EV owners to juice up their vehicles while on the go. Conversely, Clean Technica cross-posted an article by Sam Wilson from the Union of Concerned Scientists. He takes the United States Postal Service to task for poor analysis and lack of ambition in their recently announced plan to replace its aging truck fleet with a mix of electric and combustion vehicles. They have a huge fleet of over 250,000 vehicles, and they could electrify 90% of their routes, but they only want to go for 62%. That means they're still going to emit a lot of greenhouse gases and air pollutants that harm our health and the planet. The article criticizes the USPS's analysis for undervaluing the benefits and overinflating the costs of fleet electrification, and calls for a more accurate and transparent assessment of the alternatives. It also urges the USPS to focus on serving communities experiencing environmental injustices with zero-emission vehicles, and to commit to purchasing only zero-emission vehicles after 2026.
In today's episode, we discussed the alarming and accelerating climate crisis, the frustration over the lack of agreement on reducing fossil fuels at the G20 meeting, the urgent need to address climate change and take more action, the ban on cruise ships in Amsterdam to limit pollution, the U.S. climate law that is accelerating clean energy technology, and the collaborative efforts of major automakers to build an EV charging network and USPS's limited plan to replace its truck fleet with electric vehicles. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I'll see you guys at the next one. And don't forget to subscribe, share this podcast with your friends, and visit all our social media channels. Links are, as always, in the description box.